So, let me introduce you first. Hi, everybody. This is my show where I interview my friends that have really cool jobs. Jobs normal people don't have and might want to know things about. This is my friend Ryan Aman. Not a man.
No.
Not amen. Amen. Which I only knew yesterday how to properly pronounce that. You not so subtly told me.
Right.
Ryan has been an improviser for 20 years, doing this professionally, leading groups. And we just went to the gas station and got fun drinks. And I pressured him into getting the most screwed up Gatorade. I'm going to watch you try to open it.
And now I'm going to open it?
And I'm going to have fun.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're doing this before the interview.
What has started?
Oh, wonderful. Okay, I think I figured it out. There we go. Perfect.
So first question. What is the point of improv to you? Is it to be funny? Is it to... what is it?
No, it's just to have fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For you, the audience? For who?
I'm selfish, so me, but...
Okay. Is that how it works best? In order for them to have fun too?
Yeah. Because fun is just contagious. So if you're not having fun, no one else is going to have fun and everybody will know it.
Right. Tell us in your own words, what is your definition of improv? In case people don't know.
So improv is a form of theater that is performed without a script or blocking or technically rehearsal. So it's theater, but without all the garbage that nobody likes to do.
Right. So is that why? Is that why you
I feel like I need my pinky up.
I'll do pinky too. Is that why to do improv versus any other form of theater?
Yeah, it's just easier. And we're all about like minimum effort maximum results.
Thanks for matching me, by the way.
I know. I was so excited when you got here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here is the only question I wrote down.
Perfect.
The rest of it will be
improv.
Okay. Improv. Craft, sport, art, recreation, addiction. What would you classify it as?
Addiction?
What town are we in, by the way?
We are currently in Shelby Township.
The crime capital of
we have
Michigan.
Constant ambulances and fire trucks and police officers just blowing their sirens. So that's
Sounds
what
fun.
you're listening to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you need me to do the question again?
No, it's addiction because that's the only answer I remember. Also, a bonus to improv is you don't have to remember lines. So.
Okay, so it's straight up an addiction.
Straight up.
Since I've joined you guys and part of the club until you kicked me out, I've noticed that a lot of people like to do it a bunch, right. A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
I kind of forgot where I was going with that, but I did have like a brilliant question.
I'm sure you did.
So there's a lot of different facets of improv, sort of. There's comedy sports, there's short form, there's long form. What kind do you do? What are the most popular kinds out there?
Right. So RPG comedy, we mostly are known for short form stuff. Mm-hmm. Comedy sports does short form, and everywhere else does long form.
Everywhere else?
Everywhere else.
You mean everywhere else in the world, or everywhere else in Michigan, or what?
Everywhere else in Detroit area.
Okay. Is that a lot of places when you say everywhere else?
There's a handful of them, and there's a lot of like pop-up troops that kind of show up. But it's kind of, you have to know improv to like long form improv. I've found like normal people that don't act or don't pay hundreds of dollars for classes don't generally enjoy long form.
So then
I don't know if I'm allowed to
explain,
say that.
how do you explain Middleditch Schwartz, which is a popular Netflix show right now where it's just long form improv?
Well, those people are famous. So to do long form well, you have to be very good at improv, and sort of really have a good strong grasp on it. Whereas like short form, you can just jump in and have fun. And audiences, at least in this area, are a little bit more. We don't live in like a huge like theater area or a huge like arts area.
Shh, don't tell
unfortunately.
them. It's super prestigious.
Yeah, super prestigious. So I don't know. Improvisers all like to do long form, but audiences prefer the short form. I find. Unless
you're Middleditch and Schwartz. But are those guys really, really good? Have you watched it?
I've seen one episode and
were you impressed?
I did like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's very few long form stuff that I've seen and thought nailed it.
Okay.
And they do a really good job.
Okay. We are going to maybe test some of that out today.
Oh, great.
I may even include a snippet in this episode so people can see what improv is about. But yeah, I roped him into practicing some Keith Johnstone improv, which is a particular, I don't know, it's one of the fathers of improv, and he has his own style.
Okay.
Do you follow any particular person in your style? Where do your influences come from?
I don't know. I've read a lot of books and just kind of, I don't know, adapted a lot of stuff
Improv
into
books.
our own. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, Lord.
Is there like one that you like?
The very first one I read was awful. Well, it was okay. Was like one of those dummy books, like a idiot's guide or a dummy's guide to improv. But it wasn't like that brand.
It wasn't like Viola Spolin.
It was like, yeah, it was just somebody else wrote it. And I remember that one of my mentors, when I first started actually doing improv, we were at a bookstore and he pointed it out and he said, "That's a dumb book." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
You're like, it's the one that I have read. What is it about? What makes improv addicting? Why do people get hooked?
It's different every time, and I think just sort of that live in the moment kind of, I don't know, that adrenaline rush that you're kind of panicky and there's chaos to happen, and then you realize everything's okay, and even if you do it well, people like it. If you do it terribly, people will laugh about it. So either way,
especially
the
if
laughter
you
is
do
addicting.
Yeah. The funnier it is. So have you been addicted these 20 years? Is that what has kept you doing it for this long, or is it something else?
I would say yes, addicted for all these years.
Wow.
Because, I mean, it's obviously not the money.
But you're a pro.
Well, sure.
And everyone in the area knows you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they do ask you to perform at their venue, club, place, meeting, bar mitzvah, whatever.
Yeah, we
all the
performed
time.
at a lot of stuff, yeah, for sure.
That's an achievement.
Hooray. Cool.
Getting a reputation for good theater and what you say is a non-theater town seems pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
How do you explain your success?
We have always thought of the audience first. Like, this was never a drive to become billionaires, or we more wanted to focus on the passion of people. And we found that there's a whole lot of people out there that other places kind of turn down because they don't have the experience. So always kind of finding new people that sort of have that drive to do it, but haven't had the opportunity. And they're always excited to do it because they're passionate, and the audience kind of feeds off of that excitement and keeps coming back. That's a really long answer, but
no, it's not.
Just running around in circles.
It was amazing and brief.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got so captivated, I forgot what I was going to ask you next.
It's probably my eyes.
That too, and our purple shirts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do you have a favorite game?
Oh my lord, this changes all the time. 10 years ago, I was really well known for doing Half-Life with Dave Thompson, who's in our RPG comedy for many, many years.
Is that the one where you go backwards at the end?
Sort of. It's kind of like an audience choice. So it starts off with like a 60-second scene, and then it keeps getting cut in half to the point where we're doing like a 2.5-second scene. And then we give the audience a choice whether they want to see the whole thing run backwards or a second or something. So
I've watched the backwardsness once, and it is mind-bending. I want to try it sometime. I don't know if I can do it, though.
You definitely. Yeah. Caitlin is so good at scene work. And she's incredibly funny, so you could 100% do it.
You have not seen me do one scene ever, I promise.
I've seen you do a handful.
Okay, sure. What do you want to promote coming up? Oh, I don't know when I'm going to get this up, though. But depending on your answers, when I'll upload this.
Well, I'll give you a couple answers and I'll pause in between. So if you need to cut them out. We have a virtual show on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/rpgcomedy. We'll be live streaming a show there at 7 o'clock. We usually do a Facebook live stream once a month. We are also looking to host some sort of virtual online improv, how to sort of get into improv and start doing it, sort of workshop. And if anyone's interested, we're also doing open auditions. So if you are interested, like you were, to join and maybe do some improv, you can shoot us an email at rpgcomedy@gmail.com, and just let us know that you're interested, and we'll kind of start down the process of getting you in.
All virtual right now.
All virtual, unfortunately. Yeah.
So what's the difference between directing versus performing for you, since I imagine you didn't start out a director?
Well, directing improv's really weird, because like in traditional theater, you have, like I said, the blocking and sort of stage movement and facing and all that sort of stuff. In improv, you really don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know if I can swear at all, but
yeah, you can swear.
So, usually with directing, you're just kind of planning out the games and the...
I lost my... Oh, there it is. Okay.
The games and the show order, and sort of... There's some little things that you can kind of like direct. It's more about sort of helping the performers grow as performers, rather than can you do like a quarter turn here, and then we're going to have you just take a couple steps downstage. And
so how are you helping them grow?
We run through some games or some scenes, handles, whatever you want to call them. And we just kind of get feedback based on sort of what we see.
Because performers and actors, at least from my experience, need to be handled with kid gloves. Very fragile. I want to make this lighter while you talk about that. But like, are you helping them grow as performers, as it's just getting better at improv, like life coach?
You want me to wait for...
You don't have to wait for me.
Okay. So it really kind of depends on what you notice when you're watching people do it. Sometimes it's more directed towards sort of becoming a better improviser, learning about stronger choices versus weaker choices, and sort of heightening the scene from there. Or a lot of times, because I come from a background in like traditional theater, we talk a lot about all that other stuff like staging and sort of different techniques that you can use to just make the show look better.
Can improv be
audience.
enjoyable if it's not funny?
Yes. We actually have a rule in RPG comedy that specifically says, do not be funny.
Do people follow that rule?
You run into some people that have trouble with it, but it's really just comedy comes from, at least in my belief, sort of the audience being able to relate to something that's happening on the stage, whether it's a character or situation, and sort of building off of that and then picturing themselves in that spot and sort of the craziness that entails after that. So
when you say don't be funny, what does that mean?
Don't try to force it, I guess. Force the funniness in there.
Like, don't be clever, kind of?
Well, I like clever people. There's like very young improvisers and stand-up comedians kind of have this struggle because they feel like they have to be funny, and then you'll start to like plan out like a joke that you want to tell, and then instead of letting the scene kind of grow in like a real kind of legitimate way, you plan for the joke, and then you try to force your partner to get to that point where you can tell the joke. And that's why like a lot of stand-up comedians have a lot of trouble with sort of doing improv, because it's more about the joke rather than the story to get there.
I feel like some people are funny in very particular ways. Like, some people's anger is very funny, and other people are not funny when they're angry. But if you're trying to be funny in a certain way, you might miss that organic thing about you that everyone thinks is funny, because you're just mad, but everyone's like, you're cute, you're mad.
Yeah.
In what way are you funny then? It just happens naturally.
Yeah,
It's better if you just don't think
comes.
about it.
I've been told that my faces are funny and my reactions.
I like your characters and your character voices.
I do characters a lot.
I don't get to see them
Yeah.
all that much.
Right. One day.
It's a treat.
One day. I've been told that my characters are very funny in sort of specifically my face. I've been called the person with like 999 faces because there's one that I wasn't able to make at one point. Just like
Just kind of froze
like a lip thing that goes up there. But yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna make it layer here.
Look how good she's doing this,
Dude,
guys.
it looks so good now.
Like,
look at that. These people look really messed up in post,
I know.
but
It's getting dark.
So can you guide performers towards their own type of funny? If you kind of know, you can see their path, what their whatever that word is, potential.
Yeah, I've been teaching improv for 13 years now, and I've always had the belief that everybody can get to the point where they are funny enough to be on stage and do an actual show that people are paying to go see. And through the couple workshops that we usually do with new people when we start a new season with RPG, we kind of get to that point where we get to people. But we've done workshops with people of all sorts of funny levels, and some of the most awkward people in the world.
Yeah, this improv has like a lot of those gems. I feel like I love those people. So the best performers or improvisers, take it how you will, what do they have in common? What's the thing that they have?
It's really hard because people tell me that I should not be funny doing improv. Like, it's just the willingness, I guess, it's this like internal voice that society puts in us that tells us, don't do that, shut up, this isn't normal. It's just, I think the trick to improv and the trick to performance is just being able to shut that up and just diving into it. But
Which is hard because as an actor, normally you have to take direction very well. It's like some form of mind reading. The director's like, do it this way. And you're like, supposed to figure out exactly what that means on the spot. But yeah, part of the key is don't listen to the voices in your head that tell you how you should be doing a certain thing. Unless those voices are very artistically advanced.
Yeah. Sometimes people's voices are so much smarter than me.
Me too, boy, I tell you.
Some of my voices are so much smarter than me. So.
Are you consulting your characters now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like none of my characters are better than me. I should learn to take a note.
Yeah, the best Ryan is not actually Ryan.
Oh no, I'm at the bottom of all of the creative sphere. What do you want to talk about regarding improv? Anything?
I don't know. I don't know.
Have you ever had like a partner in crime of the period of time where you did a lot of long form improv? Someone who's really influenced you, or do you like to work as a big group and train people?
Like I go, like, Dave Thompson has always been sort of my partner in crime. And we've been working together for like 15 years. And I don't know if you've met him yet, but he's still part of RPG. He's one of the few that are left from day one. He's always kind of pushed me in different directions, and there's a fun YouTube video of like that somebody made us. That's like 3 minutes of Brian and Dave on our YouTube from like 1,000 years ago.
Is it delightful? Should I link
it
below?
No, I wouldn't.
You can't tease it and not let people see it.
It's fine. It's
I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, you're gonna find it. Dig deep. But
Brian and Dave.
it's just like very quick little snippets of me and Dave making out with each other over and over again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
one of those compilations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently that's all we did for many years.
Right on. Okay. So if you go down this path of doing improv or practicing improv for a long time, what happens to you? How does it change you?
You become more confident. You become a better speaker. It really increases your verbal and nonverbal communication skills. It will help you with listening. Listening is a huge part of improv.
What? Sorry. I'm sorry.
We'll get you there. You're still. It's your first season with us. With sort of creative problem solving, ability to sort of accept risk and try to manage it. There's a lot of cool things that happen with improv over the years.
It's a very cool list. It's like when people say like to meditate or to drink water.
No,
it's like,
no, fuck that.
There's more benefits to improv than either of those things.
Yeah, a lot of businesses are recognizing it too, and sort of bringing improv groups in to do workshops and team building and skill workshops with their team. Have
you done any of that corporate training, and how well does it go over?
Depends on the group.
The engineers, how do they do?
They do fine. It's just about sort of connecting with whoever you're working with and sort of finding a way to get them to shut that voice down and actually have some fun. But
Do you prefer to train? Sorry, I keep looking at the camera to make sure it's rolling because it goes for 27 minutes and then it's like new take. Do you prefer training and working with brand new people that they're just now being exposed to improv, or very practiced, very funny individuals?
I like the new people because people who are very practiced tend to feel like they know exactly what they're doing, and they're a lot less open to sort of direction and help with the growing.
Have you ever met an experienced performer who is still open, or is it pretty much a rule that once you know a lot, you're...
Yeah, there's a few of them out there. Ken Wood has always been open to sort of ideas, and a lot of times he's sort of corrected my ideas because he's been doing it much longer than I have.
Oh, yeah.
The Mikey, I think you know him too. He's always been sort of open to things, and Mark C. Holden, I've worked with him too.
You're saying all my
he's
favorite
amazing.
people.
I love all these people. Yeah, I mean, but then you run into people that are like, fuck you, I know what I'm doing. But they usually don't last around very long, so.
Gotta be a team player. It's kind of a team sport.
Yeah. 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 There's no I in team, but there's an me.
So, have you found this 20 years of improv to be gratifying? If you could do it all again.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love improv. And I don't think I've ever done anything as long as I've done sort of improv and I guess theater in general, but...
Do you feel like you've mastery over it, or do you feel like you're still
No, God,
learning?
no. God, no.
Yeah, when do you write your improv book of like Ryan's methods?
I kind of dabbled off and on doing it, actually. So...
How does your technique differ from the other masters then?
We sort of limit a lot of masters have like 10, 20 rules that improv goes by. We stick it to like 4. And then we sort of turn it upside down and we say these aren't rules, they're just guidelines. And kind of take it from there. And it's more like, I don't think I've ever called any of the RPG people actors. That's a wrap.
No, we're back. Okay, so they're not. You don't call your improvisers actors. You call them entertainers.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Because I don't know, actors, they take themselves too seriously.
Yes, we do.
Our group doesn't take it as seriously, and it's more about we break so many rules that people would yell at us about.
Improv rules?
Yeah, improv rules, just general performance rules. That like previous directors would probably slap me with a ruler or something, or throw something at me. But we kind of just tear everything down, and it's all about the audience. Getting that smile or that laugh or something without being funny.
Share a bit of your fun with them, so they have fun too.
Yes.
Is that the point of it? Is that the promise?
Yeah. It's like little kids when they're playing and they're all playing pretend and they all live in this pretend world for any given second, and we kind of invite the audience into sort of our pretend world and our playground, and sort of we all play together. And it's fun for everyone at some point.
What does the audience like get out of that? It communicates something to them.
We teach them to have fun again. It's really all about the fun.
Can I do high fives for that?
Absolutely. Let me close this because it's hard to...
It's almost becoming the... Leave me hanging. Thank you. It is becoming the theme of this show and all 2 episodes that I've done so far, that as adults we don't experience enough joy. We're cut off from it in many ways, and it takes a professional. Sometimes it takes an expert, a practitioner, someone advanced in that to like force it back to the adult bodies.
Yeah.
Having fun.
And like even like when you're like it all starts with like planning the show and the games and everything. Like there's a very kind of almost scientific approach to sort of getting the audience able to accept that it's okay to have fun here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that is so cool. I feel like because there's a lot of, I don't know, these type of interview shows or whatever where people talk about why we don't experience joy and fun and all that stuff in the same way, and this is none of that.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to have that conversation with you.
No, me neither. We're just like the people like, what are you gonna do about it?
Right.
Pick out games in a scientific fashion.
Right. Fun.
Are you open to practicing some Keith Johnstone improv with me, or is it gonna mess up your whole system?
No, let's do it.
Yes. We'll sign off and say thanks for watching, everyone, and experience joy in your life by going to see an improv show or something.
Preferably RPG Comedy's improv show.
There we go. Good shout out. Take care now, everyone. Bye-bye then. Bam.
Bam.
What? Sugar moo.
Sugar boo boo.
Sugar wee.
Shaka me. Shaka me cold.
Shaka me.
Not shaka me.
Shaka
me cold.
Shaka me su. Y la pasa mi. Y la pasa mato. Y se pasa nada. Y se pasa nada.
No, shaka me.
Again.